Okay, are you still with me? This will be worth it, I promise. We're halfway through. Went to the garden and got some beautiful spices to put into my roast chicken or turkey. And the best of all is that in Vancouver right now, we've had some really nice weather, which means that the spices are still available. So I'm going to use some fresh sage in this dish, and I'm going to use some thyme and a little bit of oregano. We're making the stuffing. This is the part we've been waiting for. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some beautiful sage chopped up, and we'll get some parsley going as well. About a handful, like a half a cup of parsley is more than enough. We're gonna use about a tablespoon of sage in this dressing. Fresh is lovely. I'm also gonna use a little bit of dry as well. I guess it's just because that's the way I grew up and that's the way Grandma and my mom made it, so I'll do the same as well. So anyways, here we go. A little bit of sage, super, super beautiful smells. You can tell that this is beautiful, fresh sage. So we got that going. We'll get a little bit of thyme as well. Pull that off of the woody stem of the thyme plant. And what else do I have in here? And I had some oregano as well. So I'll pull that out off of the woody bit. So in total, about a teaspoon of the sage, teaspoon of the thyme, and we'll do about a quarter cup of the parsley. I'll just rip that off. My mom right now is going, what? We don't use parsley inside of our family recipe. I know, Mom, I know. Don't be upset. This is just more for a little bit of texture because I'm not using regular bread. And just chop that up and the look will be amazing as well. So we have that over here. And I'll get my skillet, get that going. I'm using pork in mine. You can use a little bit of oil. I'm gonna use a little bit of flaxseed oil, whatever oil is best for you, a couple tablespoons just so I don't get it sticking. I want to saute a whole small yellow onion. Put that in. Put in my spices and my parsley. And then we're gonna add the pork. Now, lots of different options. Here I'm using the tubes of pork that you see frozen in your supermarket. Know that it does probably contain a little bit of filler, so it might be bread, it might be a flour, it might be MSG, you may have, what else would be in here? A little bit of sugar might be in here as well. You can go ahead and just get pork sausages that are pure, clean sausages, pull them out of the links, out of the wrapping, and use those as well. It's totally up to you. For me, the extra couple of carbs that are in there will be okay for my family, considering that I'm changing the bread completely. So we're gonna go ahead and saute the onions just a little bit. So as the onions start cooking, we'll go ahead and add our sausage of choice. This calls for about 8 ounces of sausage. I've clearly doubled that. My stuffing, and my family demands it this way, is probably 4 times more meat than bread. It's just kind of what we do. And if you're following a low carb or a keto diet, having more protein versus carbs is better fine anyways. So it's a win-win when it comes to my family. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. We're going to cook this till it's literally 90% cooked. So I'm breaking it into chunks to have a final size that I like, which is kind of a meaty bit of a texture. So we'll go ahead and just keep cooking that away. Going to add an entire loaf of my breadcrumbs. They're nice and dry. For sure, the moisture's been taken out. And now the job of these breadcrumbs is to absorb the goodness of the fats from the stuffing, the oils from the stuffing, and then we're also going to add some chicken stock as well. Okay, that's all mixed in. I'm going to divide this in 4 parts. We'll just do 1/4 of the stock, and then we will stir, allow the crumbs to absorb, do about 1/3. To absorb, you just keep mixing to the point where you want them to not feel hard anymore. And you'll be able to feel it. There's got to be some sponge to it. I'm going to also add a little bit more poultry seasoning. That would have the sage in it and various poultry spices. So I'll do 1 egg with a little bit of water. Beat that up really, really good. And as the final dose of liquid, it'll be the egg that will help me bind it all together as well.